Can you imagine a cow that's priced like a sprawling mansion? What's the going rate for a rare white lion? And did someone really shell out close to $30,000 for a single butterfly? In today's episode, we'll dive deep into the world of the rarest and priciest animals out there. Spotting some of these exceptional creatures could potentially tip you into the millionaire bracket. Stay tuned, because fortune might just be a discovery away. Butterfly, the most expensive butterfly in the world. The purchase of a butterfly of a rare species for a lot of money is not usually made public, and the information about the exact amount and the happy owner usually remains anonymous. As for the most expensive butterfly in the world, it's known that in 2006, one collector from Taiwan paid $28,000 for it. The most expensive butterfly is called Ornithoptera goliath, or Goliath birdwing. Usually, the butterflies of this species have an interesting pattern on the wings. It's different for females and males. The exceptional price of that butterfly is explained by the fact that it has the rarest mutation on its wings, female and male coloring at the same time. The size of this specimen is unknown, but usually the wingspan of this reaches 20 to 22 centimeters. It's important to note that this is not the first expensive acquisition of its kind in history. Today, on the market, the cost of rare butterflies starts at $100 for a fully decorated individual. It may not seem that expensive, but the rarest individuals will cost you tens of thousands of dollars. This applies primarily to the individuals with unusual mutations, the appearance of which is strikingly different from the standard one. As you've learned, small flying creatures can be surprisingly expensive. We've done with butterflies. Now take a look at this unusual creature. This is the Venezuelan poodle moth. There's very little information about this individual. Even scientists have not yet identified the creature as a separate species. Just imagine how much such the moth could be worth. It would probably sell for at least $1 million, and if you think an animal can't be worth that much, you're wrong. Stay tuned, and soon you'll see a beautiful Tibetan Mastiff that was bought for $1.5 million. Also, you'll see the most expensive cow on the planet and such exotic creatures as white lions and albino pythons, Toucans. These exotic birds with black feathering and massive bright beaks are known all over the world, although their habitat is relatively small. They are found throughout Central and South America, from southern Mexico to northern Argentina. Scientists count about 40 varieties of these birds, although some differ from each other only by the color of the beak. Lovers of exotic pets are ready to give a lot of money for such an unusual bird. Some individuals cost about $5,000. For other rarer individuals, they ask for more, from $10,000 and above. The locals have a long tradition of keeping toucans as pets. In the past, their feathering was highly prized by jewelry makers, and their meat was considered a delicacy. In some countries of Latin America, there is still a belief that a person who has found a toucan's nest becomes its owner and can do with it whatever he or she wants, including selling it. Hyacinth Macaw. Transcribed, the Hyacinth Macaw is not only one of the largest parrots in the world, but also one of the most expensive birds on the planet. The cheapest individuals will cost you $1,000 to $2,000, and if you want to buy a thoroughbred Hyacinth Macaw, you'll have to pay from $8,000 to $15,000. The native land of this species is South America. Unfortunately, due to the high popularity of this bird as a pet, the wild population has suffered tremendous damage these days. After realizing that the Hyacinth Macaw is worth a lot of money, these birds began to get caught and shipped to markets in Europe and Asia. The bird's beak is extremely powerful, allowing it to easily feed on seeds and nuts by peeling the rind off them. They can even crack a coconut in addition to seeds. The parrot can eat vegetables and fruits, as well as pine nuts. Albino Python. Lavender albino ball pythons are born as a result of the activation of recessive genes. Their yellow markings and red eyes make them some of the most beautiful snakes in the world, and despite the fact that they look quite frightening, and specific fans of exotic animals are ready to pay up to $40,000 for a single snake just to become the rightful owner of a rare reptile. In addition, breeders are constantly fighting for snakes with this unusual color. After all, if you buy a few albino snakes at once, you'll have a chance to start their breeding, and this is a real gold mine. Exotic cats. There are many exotic cat breeds that cost a lot of money. One of the most famous is the Bengal cat. The highest price for a Bengal cat in the world was set in 1998 in England. The cat named Kato was sold for $41,435. Its owner became Cindy Jackson. The average price for a Bengal kitten ranges from $1,500 to $3,000, but there's a more exotic breed. It's called the Savannah cat. It's a relatively new breed. People began to breed it in the US in 2001. Unlike other breeds, the Savannah cat was born not because of the long centuries of selection and not because of some accidental mutation, but because of the breeder's ideas. The breeding was based on servals that were crossed with usual house cats. Despite the fact that the breed appeared recently, its popularity surpassed all expectations of its creator. The powerful advertising company aimed at popularizing the breed contributed to this in no small measure. The results speak for themselves. With its extraordinary appearance, reminiscent not only of the leopard or the lynx, but of all the other wild cats in the world, the Savannah cat is very affectionate and have a fairly calm and gentle nature. The Savannah cats are more expensive than Bengal cats. You have to pay from $10,000 to $50,000 for a purebred individual, not bad for a cat. European stag beetle. Insects cannot be called popular pets, but there are lovers of such animals as well. In Japan, the demand for the European stag beetles is especially high, and their value depends directly on their size. The most expensive European stag beetle was sold a few years ago for $89,000. Apparently, the collector was attracted to this beetle because of its mandibles and mahogany-colored chitin. I can't even imagine why one would give such a huge amount of money for an insect. Anyway, it's impossible to understand the whims of the collectors. White lions. Who hasn't dreamed of having a tiger or a lion? And the rich people do not deny themselves this pleasure. However, they want not just a lion, but the rarest lion in the world. This is how the demand for white lions appeared. White lions do exist. This breed was first discovered in 1938, and even at that time, it was a very rare breed. Nowadays, white lions live exclusively in a South African reserve called Timbavati, where there are about 300 of them. Obviously, the main feature of these lions is their unusual coloration. Scientists argue that this coloration is the result of a color mutation, due to which white fur and pale eyes appear. It's believed that recessive genes in both parents are responsible for the primordial white color of the cubs. Of course, there is a generous price to pay for the unusual appearance. One animal costs about $140,000. Such a price is caused by the small number of white lions as well as their rare color. Missy. Missy, what animal could be waiting for you at the end of this episode? The chicken that lays the golden eggs, or a goldfish, which is transported from a fairy tale into our world. You might be surprised, but one of the most valuable creatures in the world is a cow. Missy is a Holstein cow from Canada with many titles and various categories. As strange as it sounds, this cow has good enough speed which allowed it to win a variety of championships. For example, this cow was the grand champion of the 2009 Western Fall National Show. After this tremendous success, Missy became world famous in tight circles and gained a lot of fans wanting to buy it. Given this factor and the fact that Missy is a thoroughbred, it's no surprise that its price is very high, $1.2 million. $1 million cow is something new and incredible, right? But there's even much more expensive animal in the world. Big Splash. Breeding dogs and breeding new breeds has been considered a special art since ancient times. Today, there are thousands of breeds in the world, and from the point of view of cynologists, each of them has its own certain value. The breed called the Tibetan Mastiff has been breaking all records in recent years. The rarity of these dogs is clear from the name. They are not very often seen outside of Tibet. The cost of puppies of this breed is increasing due to the demand from Chinese millionaires. because in China, having such a dog is considered a symbol of status and wealth. The Chinese consider red and reddish colors lucky, and Tibetan Mastiffs are revered as sacred animals, bringing health and safety to their owners. Tibetans believe that souls of monks, who were not good enough to be reincarnated as humans, attach themselves to bodies of the Tibetan Mastiffs. The Tibetan Mastiff, named Big Splash, became the most expensive dog in the world in 2001. It was sold for $1.5 million. As the breeder notes, Big Splash is a perfect individual. Therefore, such an extravagant price of a puppy is justified. Well, a Tibetan Mastiff is a big dog. Adults weigh is 60 to 80 kilograms. So Big Splash is lucky to be owned by a multi-millionaire. A sufficient amount of food and space are guaranteed for it. That's all, guys. Which animal from this episode would you like to get? Let me know in the comments section down below. And if you liked the episode, subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and don't forget to stay notified of upcoming videos. Thank you for watching and see you later.